What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the ending of The Outsider on HBO, so a major spoiler warning is in effect. We're really going to focus on this post-credits scene, but we'll also hit on what happened in the final few scenes of the show and how everything ended up wrapping up. If you guys enjoy this kind of video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and let me know. So in the final few scenes of this episode, we're dealing with the repercussions of opting to not tell the world about the existence of El Cuco and instead burying the fact that this is the reason why these men and women were framed, and this is the reason why these children were taken in the gruesome way that they were. And instead, everyone has to come to terms with the fact that they are creating this cover-up to end things once and for all. And that really was Ralph's decision. It all comes down to the fact that Ralph went in at the last second, smashed El Cuco's head with a rock, and basically kept him from existing any longer. Or did he? Regardless, Holly had her final say, and everyone agrees to tell the same story to, one, hide the existence of El Cuco, and two, still bring the name Terry Maitland to light and allow everyone to know that he was not the one who committed these crimes, and I'm sure it was the case for the other families in the different areas involved. Now, in the final scene, we get Ralph and his wife Jeannie having a conversation next to their son's grave, where he tells her that he actually saw his son and had a conversation with him. His son told him to forget. They had a good laugh, and we slowly pan to see the gravestone of young Frankie Peterson, the murderer that set this entire thing in motion. But that's not all we got, because we also fade from the post-credits scene to see Holly at her sink, washing her hands, basically cleansing herself of this entire situation, suffering multiple losses, Andy in particular, that is probably making her as emotional as she was at the end of the episode, and the fact that she had to cover up everything that she had worked to reveal and convince people. See, that's the most important thing. She had to convince people that El Cuco existed, and she was right, yet it all ended up being covered up. Now, earlier on, there's a line that Holly says that no one should forget about, and that line was, "Who is Terry?" Terry Maitland, the man who set this entire thing in motion, the reason that she was investigating in the first place. She all of a sudden forgot who that was. Now, it could absolutely be the fact that she was overwhelmed by everything happening and she just forgot. She is clearly exhausted. But what we see in this post-credit scene should tell us that there is more to it. Now, the first detail that some may overlook, but it is very important, is the fact that she is listening to music at the main end of this scene. Now, that's obviously not going to seem like a huge deal until you recall earlier in the season when she told, I believe it was Andy, when she told Andy that she hated listening to music in general. A line of dialogue that specific that seems like it's something being said in passing and then coming back to play at the end. The fact that they gave her music to listen to should tell us that that's an important detail and should tell us that Holly, there's a possibility that she is not the same Holly that was present at the beginning of the episode. It feels like she is beginning to go through changes, and we can also confirm this because she has a scratch on her arm. Now, all throughout the series thus far, a scratch on your body means that the entity of El Cuco has been passed from one body to the next. The person who receives the scratch is the next victim. Now, going back through the episode, it's hard to tell when Holly actually got that scratch because she never got close enough to the body of El Cuco to receive that. So it could be something that the filmmakers are throwing in just to make us believe, just to make us think that there's something to that. If we do not get a Season 2, we can assume that it's just an average scratch. But if we do get a Season 2, it's all but confirming that this is an indication that she is the next to be copied. Not necessarily the fact that she is becoming El Cuco, but it could have been an intention of El Cuco to change her if he ended up surviving, somehow surviving what happened to him at the end. Yeah, I mean, his face got smashed with the rock, but you know. It could also be the fact that he played dead multiple times when he was laying there. He needed a new look. That look would be Holly's. But these are all just theories and speculation that come along with the fact that she does have the scratch on her arm. An interesting perspective could be that El Cuco itself is no longer an entity that exists, but the scratch on her arm is almost like a virus that was passed from El Cuco, saying that she is something more than human, but not necessarily evil, not necessarily what El Cuco itself ended up being. Now, she does know to feel where the bumps would be if it was the same transformation that we saw earlier in the series. But there was another detail that I saw brought up on Twitter, the fact that she is twirling her hair, but twirling it in reverse in that final scene. Twirling her hair in reverse, listening to music when she says she hates music, not remembering who Terry was, even though that could have easily been a joke at that point. Or the Terry comment could have been something as simple as she's just not invested anymore. All she wants to do is to stop this monster. But there are just so many things adding up to say Holly is not the same Holly that she was. Even earlier in the episode, that scratch signifies something happening to her, some sort of transformation, whether it is a transformation into El Cuco, the entity itself, or into something else. Maybe we're reading too much into that, but that scratch does signify something. But I want to hear your all's comments, thoughts, and explanations down below. How did you all feel about the ending and the post-credits scene? What is your explanation of the scratch on Holly's arm? Be sure to hit that thumbs up button and leave all of those things in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you soon.